So I've been on the hunt for a wide angle lens for about a year now, and I ended up going with the Sigma 1424 f2.8 lens. I did a bunch of research on what lens I wanted to get and how much I wanted to spend, and the G Master lens was just quite a bit out of my budget, to be frank. And this guy only came in at $1,300. I got it on sale during Black Friday, so I got it for $1,200. It wasn't that bad. I'm a big fan of Sigma lenses so far, and this is my second one. My first one in my main lens, which is what I'm shooting on right now, is the 2870 Sigma Art lens. If you guys also like Sigma Art lenses, please let me know down in the comments below what one you have and how often do you use it. And do you prefer the Sigma Art lens over the Sony G Master lens or G Series lens or Tamron? Or do you have another preference? Let me know down in the comments below. So I've only had the opportunity to take this lens out once so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my first impressions of this lens, share those photos I took on that hike, share some of that video, and go over what I thought about the lens.
So in order to test out this lens, I decided to head up to the Finger Lakes Trail near Watkins Glen and hiked a section I hiked back in the summer. I remembered a cool section with a bridge and a stream, some stone wall features. That was pretty cool. Figured it'd be a great place to start using this lens. Now this first shot is the only shot that I took the liberty of using the full 14mm focal length of, and I didn't crop it at all, just to see what it would look like. I know I'm gonna need quite a bit more experience framing such wide angle shots, but for my first time using the lens, I like how it came out. Now for these next few shots, I used various focal lengths and I cropped it accordingly just to make the framing of the picture look nice. So it's not really wide angle shots at that point. That being said, having a wide angle lens does allow you to crop more aggressively and get more of the framing you want in post-production, which is kind of nice. In the future, I do want to get better at taking advantage of the full 14mm wide angle length so I could capture my surroundings more impactfully instead of just cropping it to make it look good. Overall, I really liked my first time using this lens. I think the photos came out nice and crisp. The colors are very vivid. I see nothing wrong with it whatsoever. If you were to give me a side-by-side of a G Master lens photo of the same area and this lens, I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference unless I'm being hypercritical. And honestly, I'm not talented enough to be that hypercritical. Maybe a professional or someone that's been doing it longer than me, which is only about a year, could tell a difference. But I would say for most scenarios, opt into getting the Sigma lens over the G Master lens unless you absolutely want a G Master lens. You're honestly probably not going to notice that much of a difference.
Now, some initial thoughts of this lens. Picture quality, love it. I can't really tell anything that I don't like about it. Not losing any quality, it performs pretty well in low light scenarios. I was under a pretty thick canopy taking those photos out in the woods. It's the middle of the day, but it was still darker. There was no photo deterioration because of light at all. As with my other Sigma lens, the build quality feels really nice. It feels like a professional lens. It has a built-in hood to protect from glaring, which is nice. One less thing I have to carry around and worry about. The zoom on this guy is actually internal, so less moving parts exposed to the elements. Love it. I think more lenses should take after this. I know a lot of the G Master lens does that as well. The responsiveness on the zoom feels nice and glidey. Nothing wrong with it. I'd rate the responsiveness probably a 9 out of 10. It's a little firm if you're not into the firm responsiveness, but it's good. Now for a quick critique on this lens, the focus ring on this doesn't feel the best. It feels very light to touch. Now I don't know if it's mine in particular, maybe not all the lenses are like this and I got a little bit of a defect, but I wish it was more firm like the zoom ring is on this lens. And also for another big feature that I love on this lens, you can turn on and off manual focus just by clicking this switch. There's also an AFL button that I don't ever really use. Now overall, this lens, considering its budget at about between $1,200 and $1,400, its build quality, the quality of the pictures, this hits the ball out of the ballpark, to be honest. I'm sure if you're getting very nitpicky and pixel peeping as best you possibly can, of course the glass in the G Master lens is gonna look a little better than this, but at $1,000 savings, it's hard to justify not just going with the Sigma lens and using that $1,000 elsewhere. If I were to rate this lens out of 10, I'd probably give it a solid 9. The main thing taking away from it is the focus ring on this. Again, just doing it right now, it actually feels gritty. So maybe I have to contact Sigma about that. I don't know. Please let me know down in the comments if you have this lens or have other Sigma lens where you felt like the focus ring on the lens felt gritty, light to touch, didn't feel the best. It just doesn't feel good. I honestly can't wait to use this lens more when the weather breaks and it's warmer outside. Hope you guys subscribe to my channel, keep an eye out for those videos, and I'll see you in the next one.